Dave, welcome to the
Here we
podcast.
are,
Yeah, I
week
got him right where I want him.
freaking 14,
And
week 14.
Andy and I got them
Remember
right
when,
where we want them. So it's one of those things, Dave. Is it the worst thing that could happen to us, or maybe is it just the best thing that could happen to us that we just,
yeah,
you
no,
know,
I mean, I've been giving you grief on the write up and stuff, like, teasing the one and done, that you're setting up, but I would trade places with you and I would be right there. If I had a spot secured with the team I have, I'd be hanging on the edge as well.
well, and you and I both know that while there are trends, and we probably will pay attention to them, we'll talk about all this stuff getting into it. Every week's its own week. And so week
Yeah.
15, the first week of the playoffs, like, who knows, right? Like Brennan just said, he was like, "Oh wait, it's week 14 and my best players on bye still." Like those
Yeah.
there's are real things that are
Yeah.
happening for
I
people.
mean,
So
we knew that all season. I knew that all season, and I still, you know, didn't didn't come up with a plan because I was too busy trying to get week to week, just
yeah,
five.
didn't plan accordingly. So, but
Yeah.
all right, well, let's jump in. Let's get some awards out. The Miller Time
Yeah, well,
Team of the Week.
I'm not going to overthink this.
Okay.
This is, and if he's probably, I'd hate to look back on how many times I've given it to the person that played you, but I think
Yeah.
it's been a lot.
Yeah.
But Ratty was in a position where he not only needed to win, but he needed to win and jump his points up just to make, to eliminate any doubt of what week 14 was going to bring. And he did it. Scored 117, kept Flex from taking another $10 of our money,
Yeah.
took high points, took the win, got him to 7 wins, which is sort of that magic number that you need, the points and the 7 wins
Well,
to stay in.
7 wins plus being in the top echelon of like
Yeah.
point scorers for
So
that
it was a big week for him.
bracket.
He needed it. You didn't put up a fight, so it wasn't like it was a battle by any stretch. But
Now
hey,
I've played Josh twice this season, and he's won high points both times.
so he wants to play you week one for next week again for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, he's hoping it stacks out the way that it is right now,
Yeah.
that it's me
Oh
and him
yeah.
again. He's like, although it's tough to beat somebody 3 times in one season, like the
It
math is
it
not
is.
in your favor. But
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd roll the dice at this point and take it.
So yeah, so good job, Ratty. Big win for
Yeah,
him. Big
and
score.
and we can talk
Big
about
moment.
we
Big
can talk
moment to do it.
yeah, and we can talk about playoff scenarios and stuff like that. But that win basically makes it almost impossible for Josh, even with a
Yeah.
loss, and he's got to be leapfrogged by some people.
Yeah.
So he's pretty safe.
Just me.
Yeah.
Is the only one that could knock him out. And that would
Yeah.
take a crazy, crazy
Well,
stat. So we can get
and
into
there's
those
2
things.
spots up for grabs, so it's like he's got options. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
scenarios that all would have to fall. But he's pretty safe, but win and then you take care of all that. So, and he gave
Yeah.
himself that chance. If he lost, he puts himself at risk, you know what I mean, where a loss definitely knocks him out, and he could win and still potentially not have made it. So he
Yeah.
did himself a lot of favors there. And so
So who do
then,
we got as a hillbilly?
well, same exact scenario. I talked about it all last week going into it, which was, Rennie, you need to win both if you want a chance to make it to the playoffs. And he was like, there's a scenario where I don't have to win both. And I was like, Rennie, you have to win both if you want to make it into the playoffs. And he's like, I don't have to win both if I want to make it into the playoffs. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, now he's in the scenario. He lost. And so I told him, like, there is a chance, like, but it's almost mathematically impossible.
Yeah.
He has to have the right people lose, and then he has to score a ton of points and a win
Yeah.
to be able to
Because I'm
leapfrog some
still,
people.
yeah, I mean, I was still worried that even winning twice, far less only once.
Well, he
And
had one win over you at that point, so his 2 wins would have
oh,
put
that's
him
true.
in. His two
That's
wins would have
true.
put him
That's
in. It would have got him to 8. But now he can get to 7. He can be 7-7 with a lot of other
Yep.
people, but he's at the lowest of points, and so he
Yeah.
would need to flip that. And he needs
But
some people Yeah, and we'll
We'll
get to all
get to
that.
that.
But
But
it's Rennie
for week
because
13, is he a hillbilly?
yeah, he's a hillbilly because again, it's not his fault, but 0.4 points from your number one wide receiver,
Yeah.
Jefferson. And I don't know if you've watched the Vikings lately, but they are trending down.
Yeah.
And that's just a tough place to be when your number one player, the guy that you want to do well, and then Stafford 17.5. Like there's just been some guys that he's weak at running back number two. I mean, honestly, he didn't get any great scores from anybody. Hall did okay. Chargers defense 10, that's good. Olave 10, that's okay. McConkey 9.9, that's okay. But like that Tracy Jr., Jefferson, Butker's only getting 4. Stafford
Yeah, it
killed
was
him.
kind of disappointing. I mean, it worked out for me, obviously, but it would have made for more drama if his guy didn't get hurt and
Yeah, yeah.
Singletary got all the carries.
Well, and then
So yeah,
even
well,
in that scenario, I think the reason Hillbilly one, it was a must win for him. I felt like, and he didn't do it, and you didn't light the world on fire, so
no, I did not.
it was a winnable match,
It was
and he
very
just
winnable.
and he couldn't get it done, and he could have, he had a better kicker on his bench. He had, what I mean? So,
So
couple,
speaking of Singletary, just as a side hillbilly, not a hillbilly award, but um, maybe a hillbilly light award. If you if you look at the, we're all trying to, when we make moves,
yep.
you drop somebody and you add somebody. The plan is that the person that you're dropping, hear me out here. The person that you're dropping is not going to be as good as the person that you're picking up. Like that's, I know that's revolutionary stuff for you to hear, but that's the plan. But if you look at the last 3, transactions right before this week started, the first one was Junior. He
Yep.
dropped Harold Fannin and picked up Taysom Hill, which ended up being about an 8-point difference.
Okay.
That's not what you want, right?
Yep.
And so
Not in
not that
his
he
favor.
played. Yeah, he didn't play him, but still. I dropped the Patriots defense and picked up Sam Darnold just because I don't know what's going to happen this week. It was all for this week because I
Yep.
don't know if, I might need a quarterback. And Darnold got 3 points and the Patriots defense got 13. So that was a 10-point swing that I dropped an ad. And then you picked up this guy named Dawson Knox and you
Well,
dropped
I
a guy
had
named
to.
you yeah, but you didn't have to drop Devin Singletary, who happened to score 16 points.
Singletary's been fine, but like there's um
I'm not
there
saying there wasn't reasons for all these things why we did them, but in
yeah,
a
yeah.
vacuum, if you just look at it, we did. It wasn't all 3 of those situations. The numbers didn't come out
Well,
in favor.
I only had a couple options of who I was going to drop.
Yeah.
So, I mean? Gainwell had been on fire, so I was trying not to drop him.
No, again, we all have reasons why we did what we did, but just the pure math, that was what Knox get? Like almost nothing. Did he get any points?
Yeah, but by the time it was like, so it was a 4 o'clock game, and the other tight end for Buffalo like was a late scratch.
Yeah.
So then I had to make a decision about who I was going to pick up, and so I should have picked up Ertz. That's who I should have picked up. That would have been a better
Yeah.
ad. It would have
Would
made a
have been a better
difference.
ad, yes.
But
Yeah.
so that's
So
I've
the
been
only
like,
other one was Andy picking up Bam Knight, who I tried that same game the week before, and he got hurt and did nothing. For Andy, he scored like over 10. So, you just never know with these stupid waivers.
yeah, yep. So, and you end up like St. Brown got hurt before he ever caught a pass, so that's kind of those matchups that we were watching. The week 13, we talked about some big ones. So obviously, Ratty needed to win. He got it. Andy desperately needed a win. He hasn't won in a long time, but he couldn't keep Junior away, and so that opens a door right there for
Yeah.
Junior to get back in. He's at 6-7. He's got the most points for in this bracket. You know, he have the most
Yep.
points for of everybody? I don't know if he still does or not.
I
Travis
don't
may
think
be
so.
first. Yeah.
No, I don't.
But he's got a lot.
Yeah.
Ed needed a win, and Ed got a win.
That was, I mean, 80 points, and it was a big win for him because not that he's safe, but he would have been out. Like I would have passed him up.
Yeah. And
Brian could have
and
just
Brennan
performed.
didn't necessarily need the win, but the win locked him in, and so he got it, you know. And no big deal for Lee, I don't think, but it set Brennan up where now 6 teams fighting for 4 spots is basically what we've got.
And really, if you're Brennan and Lee and you're looking up and down the scoreboard here, you're like, even if you're Lee, you're like, hey, I scored 99. I would have beat just about everybody else.
Yeah, I don't think it's he's fine, you know. And then Flex does what Flex does and just keeps rolling. And you guys are all fighting for who's going to be in that 8th spot, and then that's your gift is playing Travis week 1. So
that's not going to be but no. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather be in than not in, but if it'll probably be a first round bow out for whoever gets that 8th spot.
Well, I mean, crazier things have happened. I mean, but it's not trending towards Travis having a down week.
Yeah.
So
although
he had a little lull there in the middle. But
the 7th spot's not looking that stellar either. If it's Lee or Brennan, if it's you, then it's a gift.
That's a gift.
And it could be you.
Yeah. So we so we were kind of talking about I posted in the group chat. I'm going to assume by now we're far enough in the season that the 4.5 people that watch the podcast are also the 4.5 people that participate in the group chat. So I'm gonna assume some things about that, but we kind of talked about like what the biggest matchups were coming up. And so I don't know if you saw what I had posted in the group chat about like basically it's like Ed versus Andy. Ed versus Andy coming up.
Before we get into that, you want to like just recap the side bet real fast, just because it's my lone victory.
I thought the side bet was just over. Nobody was going to talk about it again, but because you won it.
For one, we had full participation, which was awesome.
I think the fact that nobody had to pay for it in real money, like they've already paid for it.
Yeah, like
I think that
they didn't have a choice.
And I got no pushback from anybody. We got no like, hey, what about, like, everybody just filled it out, and then we tracked it. And so I thought that it made those 3 games exciting.
We bounced some ideas off each other, and we both had an idea that we were still tweaking, and we ran it by Rennie. Rennie liked your idea better on this player route. Mine was more by teams, and it worked out in my favor to not pick my method. So
it worked out in your favor.
I mean, so we won't necessarily do the same format again, or at least not anytime soon. We'll probably do.
I think here's what we'll say. It was a lot of fun to have it all contained on Thursday. And so we might look for other, whether we run this back again or whether we do something different, but it was fun to have it like all on Thanksgiving. So we might look at, just what that option is. And
then there's
so the interesting thing about
I think it went well. There was some intrigue. There was some, I was a little surprised, and about just the lack of parity. Like there were,
so
because there was a lot of good players to pick from.
So there were 6 teams that were involved, which gives you 6 quarterbacks. It gives you 6 primary running backs, and then you and I talked about it, and I posted it in the group chat ahead of time. It really gave you, 12 wide receivers that you could really look at. I mean, the Bengals, the
Yeah.
Cowboys, there's other teams that have, two legit wide receivers that on any given week could score. And then you throw the tight ends in there, and not every tight end is like, but
Yeah, if it would have been, maybe if Arizona or the Raiders,
yeah.
like if
But you
Bowers
still
or
had
McBride would have been
Kelsey.
part of it.
Kelsey would
Yeah,
have
Kelsey could have been picked.
and
Yeah, but
and,
he's
and he would have
probably
been
the only one.
I mean,
I
he
mean,
wouldn't have been the
Ferguson's had
best.
big weeks, but it would be tough to pick him. But
He
I
would not
didn't
have
think
been the
anybody would
best
pick a tight
option,
end.
but he would have
But
been
really,
better than some of the options that people picked.
any of the 6 running backs, or at least 5 of the 6 teams running backs, probably were viable options. Dallas's, Green Bay's, yeah. I mean, like there were a lot of options, and then receivers you could have dug deeper and gone to a number 2, and that would have been beneficial out of Green Bay.
So a lot of the people like the go-to guys, whether you're talking about Lamar was a big letdown, and a lot of people picked him. Gibbs was I won't say a big letdown. Gibbs was a letdown though.
Yeah.
And a lot of people picked him. He was in almost everybody's either running back or flex spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that was.
And with him not doing well, it helped me, and that a lot of people picked him because then there were other possibilities out there.
Yeah, and if you picked Henry, he got an early touchdown, and then he racked up quite a bit of yards, so that helped. But man, the wide receivers are where a lot of the disparity came in. It's like if you got a good wide receiver, it made a big difference because nobody picked the best wide receivers.
Me and you picked Pickens. Nobody picked Lamb. I don't think, if I remember right. Just thought it was a little odd, and maybe,
I think maybe
people would do it different.
Did, but maybe I can't remember. Yeah,
maybe people would do it different. But yeah, I think it. Obviously it went well for me. And I don't really know if I have a rhyme or reason of why I did what I did, other than I picked some guys and submitted it.
Yeah. Well, interesting that Mahomes was the best quarterback, but only 2 guys picked him to be their quarterback, and then that made the difference because he did so well. It's just crazy that here we are in 2025 and he's still doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at a fantasy level, I feel like that there was a time where he was like the number 1 sought after quarterback, and that day has long passed by, but he's been really good this year.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I think it went well. We'll come up with a different idea, but maybe, most likely do the Thanksgiving thing again, just because it's all contained and you don't have to think about it for more than a day. Come up with different ideas, and but yeah, worked out well for me. Now
and Rennie got a 0 and still came in second.
Yep. So
I mean, he was really just if he picks any other wide receiver, you're probably not going to get the win.
Oh yeah, he could have almost. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what he had, 60 something.
Yeah, he would have need. I mean, he would have needed to pick somebody who scored something, but he, getting a 0 out of Brown, did not help. So one of the things we talked about, and this is just interesting, is that most people hedged their bets. But what I mean by that is that they did not pick like a quarterback wide receiver combo. They didn't have enough faith in like one single team that they were like, oh yeah, I'm going to double up on this. Like,
I don't remember. There were a lot of people that picked Chase. Did nobody that picked Burrow pick Chase?
I guess maybe there could have been. I didn't look that close, but it seemed like most people like differentiated their picks, Yeah. So there could have been, I guess, because the wide receiver could be the wide receiver spot or the flex spot. There could have been somebody who had doubled up there, but because Chase only got 11, it didn't feel like that it was that big of a deal.
It wasn't a different.
And Burrow, like, what did Burrow end up with? It wasn't I mean, it was okay. It was like in the 20s.
Yeah, it was in the middle. Yeah, I think Love and Goff both were higher.
Yeah, so I think he was like low 20s. But
successful side bet. You have if there's ideas out there, you have between now and next year to throw it our way for a Thanksgiving, side bet. Teams, players, combinations. And it was kind of nice that it didn't have any ties directly to our our own fantasy teams, because a lot of us were like, we've either been good or, especially the half of the league that has
Yeah,
suffered,
yeah.
not having great seasons. It's like, oh great, I gotta
Well, it
use
was
my own team.
it's funny, like it made me think that the picking the total, like that got the most interest out of everybody. People were talking about it the most, and it was only for the tiebreaker, and it was like, oh, that should have been maybe worth a category instead
Yeah,
of
like
being
maybe it
just
could
the
have been a five
category.
buck. Yeah, like it could have been worth some points or worth an extra, like into second place and 5 to the closest
Well,
person.
or it could have just worked backwards. Like the team that gets the most, you get 12, then 11, then 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You know what I mean? We could have done
Okay.
that way, or something
Yeah.
where it's like you actually got points for that. But that was interesting because
So walk me through Junior's thought process for 85 total points out of
well,
three
I think he
games.
was the going over. I think probably I got to think that that was in his mind. He was like everybody's going to go over, and he thought there was going to be some low scoring games, so he just picked like a low score. But he should have. I mean, I would think just like based on some of the stuff I was running, some of the you probably should have at least put 100.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I mean,
probably the floor.
there would have had to be 2 zeros probably for you to get
Yeah,
down that low.
yeah.
But
I mean, even like the early game seemed like it was a slow game to begin with, and then all of a sudden it was like, you know, they were all hitting basically like what the Vegas prop
it,
line was for the game. You know what I mean? Maybe I don't think the middle game did, but because the first game and the last game were like, pretty high scoring, it was but it didn't surprise me that not Josh ended up being the closest, I believe. Like his number was the closest. I think he was only a couple
yeah,
off. But then
it was
Adam,
150. It was 160 was the final, I think.
yeah,
And one of them had 157 and 156, I think.
yeah. So it
It
didn't
was
surprise me that
something
Adam
like
was
that.
that close without going over.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
that was you know. So anyway, that was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
We'll do it again. So back to we were talking about
Playoff
playoffs.
implications.
Playoff implications. So the biggest matchup of this week coming up. I mean, depending on what team you are, all of them are important. Like
Yeah.
if you're the team, obviously your
Yeah.
matchup is the most important to you. But like league wide, Ed versus Andy is like the pivotal matchup. And
Yeah.
so we've got Ed is 7-6. He has a playoff spot right now as we speak, and Andy does too. He's the last one in because of his points for, and so
But the fact that they play each other is a tough draw for both of them because they
yes,
can't get help from any place else.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
They
know.
got to do it themselves, but it's
Yeah.
a
So there is a path for both of them to stay in, obviously.
yeah.
That would only be, I basically for
Now I
it
think
would be
if Andy loses, he's out.
not, I mean, me or Rennie would have to pass him up.
He would only have 6 wins. He would be 6-8.
But I would be too if I lost, and so would Rennie. And we
Um,
don't have as many, right? I mean,
well, Junior's not in right now, and so
no, Junior isn't.
he is.
Yeah, it's just me and yeah, there's top
You
eight
and Rennie are
teams.
the two out. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's me and Rennie.
So
So yeah, yeah, Andy definitely could stay in because we both have the same record. He just has more points than me. So unless the only way would be if we both lost. If Andy loses, that means Ed wins. He's at 8 wins. He's good. But
yeah,
if Andy stays at 6, I would have to score like 30 points more than Andy to
yeah.
pass him up.
Okay.
Which
So
that's a tougher draw.
I guess what maybe some of the math is too that it's like it's unlikely that all these teams lose. You know what I mean? Like for you to lose for all these teams,
And Rennie
but
to lose.
yeah. So, but we'll see. And then obviously Rennie versus Ratty. Um, Josh has got the most likely because even a loss,
Yeah.
Josh stays in. He's got 7 wins. He would be at 7-6 with a lot of people. He's got more points than several of these teams. But Rennie has the lowest amount of points, so he needs to win. And even if he wins, he still needs a couple things to break right for him.
Yeah,
He
because
needs the
he
right
doesn't
teams to
take
lose.
Ratty's spot. He
Yes.
won't take, he would have to win by over 100.
Yeah.
And
I
that's,
told
you know,
did you
so
say
he,
I posted? I say he's got to win. Some other people got to lose, and then he's got to score like 180 this week.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that's not far off. But so he wouldn't take Ratty's spot directly, but he could take Andy or Junior if they lose, and I don't win. So that's a possibility. But yeah, that one, and Ratty is like, I think the only way he could lose his spot is to me, because and I'd have to beat him. I'd have to catch up to him because of his score last week. I'd have to get like 20 or 50, 60, 30 something, 78 minus 49, whatever that is. Which, we've had some, like we've had some swings like that. But yeah, I think Ratty's pretty safe.
Yep.
And
Rennie, even with a win, even at 7-7, like he's going to be last in any of those ties that he's in. So it just depends on how it all shakes out, like what those teams end up with, what the top 8, what that 8 spot is win wise. Because that's same thing with Junior. Like a loss for Junior is rough, just because if there's 8 teams that make it to 7-7, then he's out.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, exactly.
There's not enough of these teams that are playing each other for him. Like several of these teams are playing teams that, like for Brennan, it doesn't matter. And really,
there's
theoretically,
2 matches that don't matter at all.
yeah, and realistically, for Josh, it doesn't matter. For Travis, it doesn't matter. For me, it doesn't matter. Like all those matchups don't matter. He needed more matchups to matter.
Yes. Yeah. Man, those wins, like one more win for all of us that are basically from 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 10. One more win would have made a huge difference back those first 13 weeks.
Yeah. So
obviously, my scenario is I pretty, if I win, I got a good shot because Andy and Ed play each other.
Yeah.
I have a better shot if Ed wins because I have because then I could pass Andy with just record. If Andy wins, I would have to, I have more points than Ed right now, but he could score more.
Yeah.
And have me win.
Yeah,
and
it's
not,
so close that even just what you score this week matters.
Yeah. 29 points is not, it's a lot, but it's not insurmountable.
No, if
so
somebody
I
scores
need some
80
help.
and somebody scores 109, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, that's very possible. And so my only way to lose, I was trying to do, figure all this out, would be if Andy loses and I scored more, enough to catch up to him, because I'm not catching Junior in points because he's got 200. I'd have to beat him by 60, which would be a tough gig. So I pretty much am resolved to have to win, which is, unfortunate. And I don't really need, I need some help.
So the most likely scenario is that me and Josh play each other no matter what, because we could flip-flop. If I lost and he won, he would take me over in points. He's the only one that could do. Ed possibly could if he won and I lost, but he'd have to outscore.
Yeah.
He'd have to outscore me by it's not that much, but like 20 or something. So I could drop down, I guess, as low as like 6th if I lost and both of them won. Obviously Josh would win Josh and Ed would both have to win.
But all of us bottom feeders would like to see you win and rise up and give us a chance to play you.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody wants to play the Smithereens. It's like it's a gift. But, the funny thing is, like, I could drop as low as 6 and I could go as high as 2nd.
Yeah. When you got Lee, Lee, Flex, and Brennan staring at you at 1, 2, and 3, you'd like to take your chances with the old Smithereens.
Yeah. So according to ESPN, Ratty has a 96% chance to make the playoffs. Ed has a 79% chance. Junior has a 71% chance. Andy has a 62% chance. You have a 55% chance. And Rennie, you're telling me there's a chance, has a 37% chance. So I don't know how all that works out because everybody has more than a 50% chance to make it, and there's only two spots available. But
it's not. I mean, Andy's lost 7 in a row.
Yeah.
You let that sink in for a second. So if he loses 8, that's the trend, and so that works in Rennie's favor. And if he wins, but he would need me to lose, or else I'll pass up, or he needs Junior to lose also, which is very possible because Brennan's been winning. So all these things, I don't. I wouldn't count old Renster out. I'll tell you that right now.
So Rennie and Josh play each other. We'll go through these matchups.
Okay.
That's Bo Nix versus Matthew Stafford, what they have now. Both of them have some work to do in their lineup, which makes me think that they're trying to pick some guys up. Otherwise, they would have adjusted them by now.
Oh, if they have, I didn't look and see if they have people available.
So Rennie needs a running back. He could put Pacheco in, but he could put Pollard in. Josh needs a tight end, and it doesn't look like he has somebody, so he's going to have to pick up a nobody. I mean, he could pick up Zach Ertz or somebody that's out there. But so that matchup is really important, and both of them have guys on bye. And Josh is without. I mean, Nix and Dart are interchangeable, so I don't know that it hurts him. But nobody wants to make it to week 14 and have starters on bye. But that's especially if you're fighting for playoff spot. But that just is a scenario for both these guys. But I would give the nod to Josh just because that's how he got here. But I think that this is going to be close. It could be anybody's. And so, and then we've got show me your TDs versus flex. This one's really not that important. Lee has a couple guys. He's got at least one person on bye, and Travis is marching out there a full lineup. He is projected to score 111. So
bunch of guys that used to be on other guys' teams.
Yeah, he has built an Avengers super team with the help of Brennan and Brian. So yeah.
Jeez.
Now Brian can play spoiler, but I don't know if you noticed that
he needs a couple things.
That beautiful running back that he went and traded for is on bye, along with his wide receiver Robinson. So
but I'm down the guy that's been my best wide receiver the last couple weeks, and my quarterback that's got me to wherever I am. And so I don't know if Daniels is going to play. I don't know if I want to start Darnold.
It's interesting that Darnold's projection is so low when Njigba has been on fire.
But then
the dude scores 30 a game.
And I picked him up thinking like, well, he's got a great receiver. Then I look at his stats and they're ugly.
Yeah.
His quarterback. So I really don't want to play him.
Does he just hand the ball off to his wide receiver? Is that what he does?
I don't know how he maybe he's thrown too many picks. I could envision a scenario where I don't start him here. He's a placeholder maybe for now.
Yeah.
But Junior, there's not a whole lot of life out there. What's often candy cane stripes? What is that?
He's talking about the IU pants.
The IU. Okay.
Yeah. Brennan went to Indiana, so he is one of the few guys that you can't get irritated with about being a huge fan because he actually graduated from the school he roots for.
I mad respect for Brennan for his IU fandom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I believe out of everyone in the league outside of Adam, those are the only two that are, according to your rules, allowed to root for Indiana. Andy is a Bearcat. Lee is a construction worker.
It could be a touch of just, teasing going on with all that.
Okay.
Although
Okay.
I used to give Keith a hard time about it because he would.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so when did you graduate from Notre Dame? When was that again? I didn't remember seeing your name in the list.
Well,
Okay.
it's kind of hard to be a Norris fan. You know what I mean? I don't think that they're really known for college football.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you gotta adopt somebody.
Root for whoever you want to.
Yeah. So Junior playing Brennan. Brennan's won 3 in a row, and
I put some stats out there on his write up of like he scored over 100 like all but 1 week, and he's won 5 of his last 7, or maybe more than that. Like it just.
I mean, on a week where you don't have to win, but you probably have to win.
You want to, for sure. You don't want to set up. You don't want to need help. Then you play probably arguably the second hottest team in the league.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that would have been worse for Junior if he was playing Travis or maybe Lee. And now Lee's got some buys this week. So, I mean, really, Travis would have been the worst scenario for him.
Yeah.
So, and then, I mean, what better matchup? I can't even make this up. Ed versus Andy. 7 in a row going up against Ed. You think his buddy Ed just like does him a favor Ed's
just been hanging around all season and just winning when he needed to, just to stay relevant, stay right in the middle.
I mean, just think about Ed isn't even in this scenario if he doesn't get that. When we played each other, was it like 65 to 55 or something crazy?
And he's also not in this situation if he didn't let Brian draft his team.
Yeah, maybe he would have drafted an even better team.
He might have. So, so this one is tough draw for both of them just because,
the winner likely goes home.
Like it.
Or the loser, I'm sorry, I said the winner. The loser likely goes home. And and then you've got a 4 loss in a row team against a 3 loss in a row team. One of them's going to the playoffs and one of them isn't. Adam versus Kevin, the rematch. So,
does he have most of his players benched again?
I don't think so.
Or they're just on bye.
They're all on bye. Purdy, and he's got a lot of 49ers. Okay. So,
and he doesn't have a quarterback.
Yeah. So we'll see how motivated he is to put a team together, since you've already got like 4 quarterbacks on your team.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah. So, it all comes down to this. It's crazy to think we've been doing this long. We've got this many teams going on. This many teams still fighting for a playoff spot. Like I said, six teams for 4 spots.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's a scenario, I mean, it's unlikely, but there's a scenario where like from top to bottom, like anything could happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like there's
like we said, the math is in Josh's favor, right? Like but he doesn't want to lose, like, because then you lose, you just set yourself up with a chance to play Travis. So and nobody wants that.
Based on the likelihood, it's probably more 4 teams for 3 spots. Does that kind of make
it? Okay, so if we say that Josh is a lock, and then we say that either Ed or Andy are locks, right? Like that the winner of that one is definitely in. So that's 2 of the spots that are in. So now we've got Junior and you and Rennie fighting for 2 of the spots. And let's just say it's not true, but let's just say that like the loser of Ed and Andy is out. You know what I mean? Like that they
Yeah.
wouldn't make it. Then it really does just come down to like 3 spots for 2 teams, or
Yeah.
2 spots for 3 teams. So,
At
but
least
it could be if Andy loses because of he's got higher points than several guys, it could still be, you know, 2 spots for only one team.
yeah. It seems more up in the air than maybe some past
Or
years where it's only one
I keep saying that
spot up for
backwards.
grabs.
I keep saying that backwards. Like 3 teams, 2 spots. Like that's
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like maybe the last couple of years, which maybe I don't remember, but it was just the 8th spot was the only one in question.
yeah. Now if Ed loses, he's most likely out. But if Andy loses, there's a chance where he's in. And so like that's the thing that you guys have to pay attention to the most. All of you guys should be rooting for Andy just to go ahead and lock that spot up.
Although, well, Ed's the one that has more wins.
He does, but he would if you can get to 7 wins, you automatically take him over.
I would, but Rennie wouldn't. So Rennie would rather Andy lose because it gives him a shot. He
Well,
probably because he can't catch Ed.
I don't believe a 6-win team is making it in.
You don't?
No, there's no way.
If Andy loses
Okay,
and I lose and Junior loses, then nothing's going to change.
I believe that the 2 last teams to make it in will have 7 wins.
Really?
I think so.
I mean, I think it's just as likely that all three, that several of these 16-win teams lose and at least one of them gets in with 6 wins.
Well, if a
I guess
6-win,
Rennie would have to lose as well.
you should hope that that you win and a 6 and 7 team doesn't make it in, because
Yes.
you don't want to leave it up to losing and then making it in, because then it's
Yeah, I
most
definitely
likely
want to get to
just
7 because my only way of getting 6 would be to outscore Andy and have him lose.
yeah.
and jump over him. I basically just have to outscore Andy by 30, by whatever number of points that is. Then I got a really good chance. Because if I do that, then I'm definitely out.
Here's my point, Dave. You got Andy, Kenny, and Rennie. All 4 are 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Do any of these 4 teams play each other?
No. None of the 6. No, the only none of them play each other. Andy's playing a 7-win team.
Yeah, Andy is playing a 7-win team. Those are the only even like remotely close teams that are playing each other. So I just think out of all those 4 teams that are 6 and 7, only 2 of them have to win, and then that's the 2 spots. Right now, there's 2 teams that are 6 and 7 that are in playoff spots, and 2 teams that aren't. And so all 4 of those teams play, and only 2 of them have to get to 7. What's that?
My counter to that is a lot of us only have 6 wins for a reason. Getting wins has been tough, and staying at 6 is just as likely as it is getting like all 4 of us staying at 6 is a strong possibility. And if that happens, then nothing really. It would come down to point differential, and that would be it'd have to be a massive difference between me and catching.
And this, the only team that can afford to lose and pray that he still makes it in is Junior.
Yeah, if he.
Because
yes,
Andy could,
because he would need
Andy's still
he would need
reachable.
a bunch of people to lose. He would need everybody to lose.
Yep.
He would need me and Rennie both to lose.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about Andy. Andy's not taking his spot. Andy already has a spot.
Yeah. And you, as much as you have a lead on Rennie, if you lost and Rennie won, I mean, there is a scenario where he could outscore you by 50. If you both,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. He definitely could do that. Perfectly
Not
capable of dropping a 40 spot.
so. I'm just glad to be done. Like just
I know.
to been on vacation the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. This is all just you're lulling us to sleep. And then
That's
this
what I
week
said.
one, you're gonna play, one of us bottom feeders, and you're gonna kick our it may not be me. You're gonna beat Andy, or you're gonna beat Ed. Actually, it's probably most likely it's Ratty, right? It's probably who you're gonna
Yeah.
play.
I think that me and Andy have the whole league right where we want them. Just I mean, counting us out.
Yeah.
And how long could all these players really do bad for? Like So, all right, let's wrap this up, Dave.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you
sick
for
and stuff.
yeah. I didn't even mention it. I've been on water all night.
Look at you turning over a new leaf. So yeah, well, hey, another good week. We made it through Thanksgiving. We're ready for the final. Good times. So
Good luck to everyone.
good luck,
Last week of
everybody.
the season. All right. See ya.